Scott, another quirky stat question for you to start the conversation today. And I don't know how important it is. I was doing a little thinking on this myself, but your team has only trailed going into the third period 10 times this year. It is by far the best mark. How important is it, in terms of the coaching strategy, usage of the bench, that sort of thing, to be in a position where you're not chasing the game going into the third as opposed to being even or ahead?
Yeah, obviously, to be able to be in that position that many times is it's real important. I think that just we often talk about, get to jet hockey as fast as we can, play our game as fast as we can, and make the other team make adjustments. And if that means we're leading going into the third, we're doing a lot of the right things. But those things can kind of come off of strong defensive play. Maybe it's forecheck, your specialty teams. Just giving yourself a chance to make sure you're in every hockey game. And if we get out ahead like that, it puts pressure on the opposition.
There's still one more game before the Four Nations, but you were talking to Kyle and Connor about it. From your perspective and the coaching staff, are you guys going to be able to get a bit of a break, or how much time away are you going to have for this?
No, I'll be in the office every day. No, just kidding. I'm going to turn my brain off. I'll watch those from afar, but no, get some time away and just everybody to. It's important that we all reset and get a chance. Obviously, for those guys, it's still work to be done, and they'll continue to play. But I know it's a special for those guys to all get the opportunity to represent their country. So, but no, I'll just there's lots of stuff. We have a little bit of homework stuff that we want to catch up on as well.
Recognize that everyone's in the same boat. Different teams have different amounts of guys that are going to be playing versus just on a pure break. Have you had any conversations with players about what it looks like when you come back, or how to? I mean, obviously, guys are entitled to their time off and probably not going to be skating a whole lot. So how do you manage that? This is kind of a fairly unprecedented length of break, right?
Yeah, I mean, this year and next year are going to two real rarities. Next year's going to even be longer. But for us, not allowed back on the ice until the 18th, and that'll be an optional at 2 o'clock. So guys just have to know that they, if they want to go on that day, they can. We really can't do much other than injured guys is really all we can sort of be a part of. But after that, we'll do an optional, and then we have 3 full practices, and then we have a morning skate in St. Louis to get ready. The guys that are playing in it, we'll see where they go. I think the semifinals are Monday, and the finals are Thursday. So we'll see who ends up where, and we'll kind of play it accordingly from there.
Obviously, the concern would be, and I don't know what history says, but you don't want all the momentum you've built to kind of just disappear, right?
I don't think there's anything we can do. I don't want it to disappear, but we have momentum right now going into the break. The whole league has to refocus and kind of get yourself ready. We'll have 26 to go, and then the race is on. And there's a lot of teams that the coaches, the staff, the organization will be talking about gearing up for the final run. There's a lot of teams still vying for playoff spot, jockeying for spots in your division, those wild cards. So it'll be a sprint, but the thing about it'll be a lot of refresh guys coming off injuries, teams being healthy. That'll make the competition really, really good.
And you also lean on your foundation, right? I mean, that's why you've been building for the first 2/3 of the year, right? I mean, and you've also talked about what about your leadership too? Leadership's got to play a role in that also, I would imagine.
Yeah, we knew we'd get to 56 games, and there's, to me, like I've mentioned, there's sort of three seasons within the season itself, and that's getting off to a good start. It's kind of that post-Christmas to tomorrow for us. That's sort of staying in it, those sort of dog days. Everybody's kind of looking down the schedule, seeing that break that's coming. And then the last one is the push that I just talked about, the last 26. So I like what we've done in the first two segments. We've done a real good job of being focused and doing the right things. And now it's, we get back, we'll talk about it when they get back, ready to, really recognize that it's heavy hockey, and it's going to be as close to playoff hockey as that you're going to see moving forward.
What stood out to you about the Islanders during this hot stretch for them?
Yeah, I mean, they're 10-2, just like us. Their last, 8-2, just like us in their last 10. They're defending really well. Defending with number. They're a big, heavy team, a little bit like LA. They don't give you a whole lot. You got to get inside. You got to work for your ice. And then they got, they're a very veteran team too. They got a lot of veteran guys, and they got their goaltending. They got some elite goaltenders there, so it'll be a grind. It's going to be one of these games that like I mentioned, the LA game. When you play Vegas, you got to work for your ice. You're gonna, they're going to play a heavy game that we got to work to make sure that we're one step ahead of them playing fast.
Yeah, no Pullock, no Dobson, no Mayfield, no Riley. I mean, it's amazing what they've been able to do during that 8-1 run without some very key pieces, and now Barzal as well.
Yeah, no, that's you give Patrick a lot of tip your hat to him. They've done a lot of good things there. Like you mentioned, with all those injuries, they've brought in some NHL players, whether it's through waivers or D'Angelo's bringing them back from Russia. They brought in some NHL guys that certainly have helped them. But they when you see teams do that, they're playing a probably real structured hockey game, and that's just the quick look I got on watching the Islanders here. That's what you're seeing.
I mean, you've had 3 7-game winning streaks already. One was 8, but I mean, to do that so far, what's impressed you most about your team's ability to go on long stretches like that
The
this
biggest
year?
thing for me is that we turn it off. The last game, whatever happened, winning obviously makes it different, but that we move on to the next opponent. It's the guys have done a fantastic job. Sometimes based just on the how many games we have to play in such a short period of time, but guys have done a fantastic job of forgetting about last night's game. We'll maybe do some quick video or talk about it briefly, and then we move on to the next opponent and we get ready. And I know sometimes you got to play different styles, different games. Going from the Carolina game to this game, 2 exact opposites. So it's us kind of resetting and getting ready for the next.
Point, Scott, is it almost like you'd view this as 7 one-game winning streaks more than a 7-game streak, like in the microcosm of one game at a time?
Yeah, I don't honestly, and I'm not blowing smoke. All I'm thinking about is the Islanders, and that's what we've done as a group. We've moved on, turned the page, and wins or losses. But I mean, everything's just the next game. Take care of business. Let's win the next game.